Hello and welcome back to another episode of
It's over. We are screwed.
That's right. Here once again with my co-host. Man, there's a lot of stuff going on. I guess you can say this is like a current events and my perspective of what's going on. I guess the first thing to do is to go to my TikTok. Not my TikTok, my X. My Twitter. I got some stuff here that I would love to go over. We'll go to the Real Screw page. And I would like to go over what this lady's saying. Where's my damn... Please hold on. Man, now that was a pleasant surprise. I just spoke to a cousin that I haven't spoken to, and I would say 40 years. Oh my God, 40 years. I've been spoken to since we were kids. Damn. And he's doing good right there. And we talked a little bit about what I'm about to talk to today. So, what do we have here? We have incredible stumbling president here. Lord have mercy. I don't know who's gathering at this buffoon's stuff. Okay. Let's talk about illegal immigrants. Look at this here. This is what's coming our way, people. Man, listen. This is an invasion. This is the downfall. Now, let's go to this woman here. What she's saying.
Of multiculturalism have proven uncontrolled immigration, inadequate integration, and a misguided dogma of multiculturalism have proven a toxic combination for Europe over the last few decades. I'm not the first to point this out. In 2010, Angela Merkel gave a speech in which she acknowledged that multiculturalism had utterly failed. And then French President Nicolas Sarkozy and British Prime Minister David Cameron echoed similar sentiments shortly thereafter. Multiculturalism makes no demands of the incomer to integrate. It has failed because it allowed people to come to our society and live parallel lives in it. They could be in the society, but not of the society. And in extreme cases, they could pursue lives aimed at undermining the stability and threatening the security of our society.
Wow, that was deep. And let me give examples of what they're talking about. I've heard of Africans coming over with 2 social security numbers. They'll have 2 social security numbers. They'll work and they'll put in this other social security number that supposedly older person, and then go ahead and retire, get social security benefits over in Africa. And these guys is like in their 30s. I'm telling you, the scams are real.
Uncontrolled immigration.
But we got all the stuff, and what's the... Did I put anything on there? And you got Janet Yellen saying, oh, here we go. Here we go.
Means. Paul Tudor-Jones, the famed investor, was on CNBC
Janet
this week.
Yellen said that we can afford
this is the most threatening
to
and
pay
challenging geopolitical environment
Ukraine
that I've ever
and
seen.
Israeli
At the same
war.
time, the US is in its weakest fiscal position since World War II, with debt to GDP at 122%. Can America, can the West afford another war at this time?
I think the answer is absolutely. America can certainly afford to stand with Israel and to support Israel's military need.
Man, we some rich bastards, I tell you. We're so rich. You know what else America can afford? It can afford, you, the American, can afford for banks to give loans to illegal migrants. The government just told the banks that you cannot deny migrants loans. Let's hear it from the economic ninja. This brother here. Check this out. Check this out.
Hello, everybody. Economic Ninja here. I have a story that just came across my desk, and it's out of the Epoch Times. I'm going to share it. But I want you to understand, as I'm sharing this video, how very, very serious this is. I have told you that there is a plan to infiltrate our country. And one way they're infiltrating our country and destroying it will be through people that do not hold the same values, the same morals, ethics that we do. And the reason why is because they did not grow up in this country. And to them, our country looks like a bunch of rich, entitled people. There is a plan.
It's over.
To fill our country full of people.
We are screwed.
And to cause a serious strain on our economic system. Then eventually there will be a system of rioting, theft, looting that is very serious. I have to choose my words very carefully. And you know why. But one way that you embolden people to act a certain way is you entitle them. And our government has done a very good job of causing an entitlement spirit over our country. First, in Americans, they feel like they're entitled. It doesn't take hard work to get anywhere. It just takes the government to bail you out. It's this sort of Messiah mentality. I'm going to start with this story, and I don't know how to get the message out, to be honest with you. This channel has come under some pretty wild attacks ever since I started warning about some serious truths. But I can't stop warning about those truths. Here's a story out of the Epoch Times. Biden administration orders banks not to reject illegal immigrants' loan applications.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
There is a banking collapse happening. I told you last year what month it was going to start. That was going to start at the end of the first quarter of 2023. It happened. I also called two other banking crises within a week, separated, one in one in July and one in August. One of the ways, now imagine, they're being ordered right now, banks, to make loans to illegal aliens. What are the repercussions if they don't pay? Well, the banks know that the government will bail them out, right? This is part of the plan. But you have to fund an army from outside to come into this country. They need funding. This is so serious. I want the average American citizen to understand how serious this is, Because if they did, if they truly did, they would do something about it. And one thing you do is you start preparing food, water, shelter, getting out of debt. This system is being detonated on purpose.
Need to get the hell up out of here. Ain't no saving this. This is intentional implosion. This right here, they're going to bring a whole new society. You got thousands of jobs going to be lost, hundreds of thousands in the coming years due to AI. And now this.
And it is going to drag millions and millions of Americans down with it. And I'm going to be honest with you. The only way this information gets out, it's in your hands. I hit record, I film it, you share it.
And I'm sharing it today. Economic Ninja. I appreciate this, brother. This guy, he be coming up with some information that you ain't going to be hearing. He be getting a rundown on some stuff. He be coming out with it. That's why he's, like you said, he's under attack. You know, we have so many people in this country unemployed and in tent cities. And we can't uplift our own people. I mean, this is unbelievable. The homelessness is outrageous. The mental illness, out of control. The drug infestation. I mean, damn. I guess they're supposed to just die out there in the street, you know, or get taken out by a homeowner because they're stealing something. I don't know. Let's go.
It says here, 2 federal agencies have warned financial institutions not to reject illegal immigrants' credit applications based solely on mostly on citizenship status. They want to buy their votes. They want to fund an army, a hidden army in our country. I told you the story about the hotels that are completely jam-packed in Dallas, Texas. We've seen the stories of what's going on in New York and in Minnesota, where they're asking citizens, house these people. We're tapped. It is going to push our country to the brink of civil war. Do you know who pays when the government bails these banks out? It's you. It's me. It's taxpayers. People that are going for these loans, the Biden administration is ordering banks to not reject illegal aliens, illegal citizens' requests for money. And I'm telling you, 2024 is going to be gnarly. And we're going to take advantage of it, but you can't take advantage of it if your credit's shot to crap and you don't got any money in the bank or money setting off to the side. Dry powder. This is no joke. And it's one thing if 1 or 2 of us or 3 of us go take advantage of this. Oh yeah, great, you make a couple bucks. But we're trying to save a nation now. Our government has gone completely rogue, both sides. And it is time to wake up. We need the wealth of the nation in our hands, not theirs. If you're just joining right now, and I would really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart that you share this video somehow on any and all social media platforms. But the Biden administration is ordering banks not to reject illegal immigrants' loan applications. This is going to cause a collapse in the banking bigger than what's already collapsing right now. It says the Biden administration has warned U.S. banks and other financial institutions that they can't reject illegal immigrants' credit applications based solely on or predominantly on their immigration status. Just so you know, the reason why a bank would not allow a loan to someone based on their immigration status is because they are afraid that if they stop paying, they can't find them and get that money back. That's why. But our current administration is saying, no, you go give them the loans. They're trying to fund an army. The Department of Justice and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau said in a recent statement that rejecting illegal immigrants for credit cards and various types of loans just because they're non-citizens is unlawful. The 2 agencies stated that they were issuing the warning because consumers have reported being rejected for credit cards as well as for auto, student, personal, and equipment loans because of their immigration status. Let me stop right there. Let me ask you this. Do you think if you went to another country, how hard would it be if you were not a citizen to go and get a loan with
You
a
get
bank in
nothing,
that
Si.
country?
Nothing.
What do other countries, what are they like? You just walk in and go,
You can't even get
I
a
have no
job
ties
there.
to this place. Let me take a loan. See what I can do.
Got to work online.
You know, when you see things coming ahead of time, it's hard to keep your mouth shut. I think you'd have to have a lot of evil inside of you to keep your mouth shut, only to be able to to continue personal gain. I know people that are killing it, crushing it, making tens of millions of dollars per year in this social media game, and they just keep their dang trap shut. They'll sell you an affiliate link that'll run you right into the and I think that's evil. The agencies argue that protections afforded by the ECOA and other laws extend to alienage. So banks have blanket policies to deny loans to illegal immigrants may be breaking the law. You see, because the law is left up to interpretation. That's what we do. We pay attorneys to argue the law, and then build case law or go by case law to prove their point for or against someone. Fair access to credit is crucially important for building wealth. Bull crap. Okay, I use debt to make money. I teach people how to use debt to make money under the right circumstances. But this isn't what they're talking about. They're using your tax dollars already to fund this army. They're funding other armies and proxy wars around the world with your tax dollars. They have ran the strategic oil reserves down to a record low. Type 1 if you think they're doing this on purpose, to crush you. Type 2 if you think, no, this is just sort of how it should be. See, they got rid of the last president because they were scared to death he was building a wall to stop this army from coming in. And it's not just people from South America, it's people from all over the world coming through. And they're not all women and children. They're fighting age men. America is buckling, and it's happening fast. The people that I know, that I've worked with in the construction industry, that have come over from Mexico, El Salvador, and other countries, Latin America, that have come over and worked hard, gotten green cards. They've received their status, their immigration status. They have a status so that they can work in our companies. They're awesome people, love them to death. And even they say, like, you have no idea what's coming. And they're concerned too, because they see this.
I've heard a brother in Colombia, the people from Venezuela are on their way up here. They're going across the streets. I mean, tens of thousands of people. So we haven't seen nothing yet.
This place is a prosperous place where they can make enough money to send it home. And then eventually I've seen multiple people that I know, they're buddies of mine, that retire back into Mexico and different countries, the wealthiest person in their town. But they worked their butts off to get here, and they paid taxes, and they had taxes taken out and stuff. It's scary what's happening right now to our American businesses. Brad Cummings, a former U.S. attorney, objected to the agency's warning to banks and other financial institutions. He says the DOJ and the CFPB tell banks it might be illegal to refuse to loan money to people who broke federal law to reach the bank. Again, they're saying it may be illegal. They are bluffing. They're bluffing the banks, scare them into giving these loans out that banks know by large percentage are not going to be paid back. And the bank's going to need a bailout or a bail-in. If you don't know what a bail-in is,
You know what I think is happening? You know how they monetize you. You're monetized. You're monetized. So, please, can you stop it? You're monetized. So when you go ahead and get a loan, you're creating that credit. So they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna monetize these illegals. So, or because they made a promise to pay. So that's going to be like a good loan. They're just going to inflate the bubble, the system, to unbelievable proportions. It'll be no way anybody will be able to pay off any damn thing. Because all the people with the real money, they done left already. They already got their other second home somewhere else in another friendly country or whatever. So, man, people, if you got the means, evacuate, abandon ship.
Type 3, I'm curious if there's anyone. Type 4 if you know what a bail-in is. But I'm going to explain it right now. Because the next wave of banking collapses, and way bigger, it's going to be way bigger than what you've experienced in the spring and just recently in the summer. They're going to take a percentage of all the deposits to be made whole. Because not even the FDIC's got enough money. They've already came out and said, we do not have enough money to fund this. Hit the thumbs up on the video if you agree with this. And you know I know what I'm talking about. So I know you know what I'm talking about. This is a plan to implode the banking system and make you dirt poor, and you will not have access to capital markets or credit markets. Says according to the Center for Immigration Studies, there were roughly 11.35 million illegal immigrants residing in the United States as of January 2022. The agency said the ECOA protections extend to alienage, although in a joint statement they acknowledge some gray area. It's weird. They use the word may be illegal and there's a gray area. That's what they're doing. They're running right inside the level between legal and illegal to intimidate banks, to intimidate you. Some financial institutions have maintained blanket policies denying people credit based on their immigration status without regard for their ability to repay, interpreting ECOA in a way that they believe shields them from liability, according to the agencies which added that this is incorrect. I'm telling you right now, those are the kind of institutions I want to be a part of. The ones that go, wait a minute, this is liability. I'm not going to cave. I'm not going to make these loans. I'm not going to make bad loans. That's what happened in the 2008 crisis, and that's what's coming next. You can read it so easily if you got...
All right. If you don't know, subscribe to this man here, the economic ninja. I'm going to go over to another guy that I like. And let's check this out. Let's go.
Hey, what's up, guys? John here. They're getting ready to rug pull
This
the
is
entire
John
labor market
Williams.
in America.
More American workers are hitting the picket line, calling for higher pay and better benefits.
The United Auto Workers strike is now in its third week, the union expanding its historic walkout.
Another potentially massive labor strike across the U.S. could start in about 24 hours. Tens of thousands of healthcare workers at Kaiser Permanente are threatening to walk out if a new contract is not reached by tomorrow's deadline.
And when you connect dots and when I show you what's happening, you're going to be shocked. Over the next 12 months, we're going to see likely millions of jobs being pulled, and with it is we're going to see the massive push towards automation, robotics, technology, and I believe we're going to see the biggest buying and investing opportunity that we've ever seen in U.S. history. I'm going to break it down for you clearly with verifiable facts.
Yeah, he breaks it down real good. This brother right here, he be getting the info that you would never believe. But I like to go check out this one right here. I do believe this is the right one.
Hey, what's up, guys? John here. Rite Aid has just filed bankruptcy. CVS and Walgreens are not far behind.
Pharmacy chain Rite Aid filing for bankruptcy. Once the largest drugstore chain in the country.
Rite Aid, one of the largest pharmacy chains in the country, has filed for bankruptcy.
How is there going to be jobs for illegals if everything is going bankrupt?
month, the chain announced it was closing stores. Rite Aid is billions of dollars in debt and is also facing lawsuits stemming from the opioid crisis.
They are closing hundreds and hundreds of stores in all major cities all throughout America.
CVS Pharmacy will be closing 900 stores all over the country over the next 3 years.
Walgreens is preparing to shut down hundreds of stores. The company's CEO says 150 closures will happen in the U.S. and the other 300 will close in the United Kingdom.
For guess why? Theft, crime, increased wages. You know, they're saying that employees deserve more money. Well, these big box stores have a solution for that. That's going to be to remove most of their employees and really change the shopping experience to keep themselves profitable. But how are they going to do this? They're going to level the entire economy, the entire shopping experience, and bring it back with this new solution that I'm sure you're not going to like. I don't like it. I'm going to show you factually what's happening so you can plan in advance so you understand where this world's really going. 2020.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Does it keep on going? Hold on.
2024 and 2025 are going to be unreal. It's going to be unlike anything we've ever experienced before. Please hit the like button. YouTube will share this content to educate the people about what's really going on. And if you'd like to fix your credit, bankruptcies, repossessions, any negative item on who they lend to, you're going to want excellent credit to position. So if you have any problems in your credit report, we'd love to help you. That's more than the full total years of 2021 and 259 bankruptcy filings in 2023. That's more by clicking the link. Take a look at this. So 459 bankruptcy filings in 2023. That's more than the full total years of 2021 and 2022 combined. Rite Aid files bankruptcy as for the debt load, right? $4 billion. $4 billion in debt this company has. The company, which began in 1962 as a single drugstore in Scranton, Pennsylvania, employs around 45,000 people across more than 2,000 locations. In 2015, it entered the pharmacy benefit manager business, serving as a middleman between insurers and patients and helps to process prescriptions. It's now planning to sell that business called Elixir in bankruptcy. Now, if you look at what Walmart's doing with their pharmacy businesses, they are laying off their pharmacists, reducing their hours dramatically, and they're
laying off pharmacists. I just heard there was this Chinese kid working with the wife that he was doing nursing, but then he said he didn't like it, so he's going into being a pharmacist. Wow, look what's... Yes, and this is his future.
Leaning heavily into AI and technology. Think about that. People go to school for 8 years to become a pharmacist. Now AI has taken that job, right? This is where we're headed. And when they say 45,000 people, think about this. This is just one business. There's $2 trillion in corporate debt. So they are trying to restructure $4 billion. There's $2 trillion of debt that has to get restructured next year. Think about how big of a problem we're walking into. All of these very, very debt-ridden companies are going to be walking into this big problem, which is going to equate to massive layoffs. And the big question is, how do people pay mortgages? How do people pay their bills when they have no source of income, right? So it's going to be a real strategy game the next year or so. So really position yourself and look at what's happening so that you can see things clearly. Hit by the pandemic, Rite Aid began, I mean, they were hit by the pandemic, but they were deemed essential. You know, mom and pop businesses, they were hit. They were the ones that were hit during the pandemic. Rite Aid began a series of debt swaps and pay downs between 2020 and 2022 to try to cut its interest expenses. According to court papers, it was also closed 200 underperforming stores and entered sale leaseback deals to fund during the Chapter 11 process. Rite Aid reached a deal with lenders for $3.45 billion in financing and entered an agreement to Elixir to be acquired. Now, look at Walgreens. 450 locations. They're closing 450 stores. Then, I mean, you look at, just Google it, everything. They're closing stores like every week. Then you look at, you know, another Walgreens, right? They're 9,000 locations. And they're just closing more and more and more and more stores. CVS is closing 10% of all its shops as it moves online amid rampant increase in shoplifting. They're closing 900 stores by the end of next year. 900 stores. And so CVS is set to...
So they're going to put everything online and fuel prices is going to be off the chain. And then you got to pay for this whole system of electrical vehicles that don't work, that run off of coal mines. I mean, The insanity is real.
Idiot. I'm surrounded by idiots.
To close hundreds of stores across the country as it undergoes a complete retail overhaul as more outlets move towards online sellers amid rampant increases in crime. The major drugstore chain is coming to an end of its policy launched in 2021, which will see 300 stores close each year, meaning 900 will have closed by 2024. In the announcement, which has hit headlines again recently amid rampant shoplifting at a chain bosses, they said that they were undergoing new retail footprint strategy. Now, this retail footprint strategy is shocking. But, I mean, you look at San Francisco, you look at Los Angeles, crime, Chicago, Philadelphia, you name it. Crime's getting out of control. And just imagine what crime will look like if interest rates continue to be elevated, and the job market continues to soften and the cost of the world gets more and more expensive. People are going to, kind of dismiss any type of consequence for a crime. They're going to be looking at survival, right? They're going to be looking at survival. What I think is going to happen is there's going to be a major change in this shopping experience, very similar to if you look at what Kroger is doing and Walmart and Target. This is what they're all talking about doing. From the consumer side, the technology forces companies, so they're going to be using technology to surveil every single customer that goes into any store. Now you have to ask yourself, if you're a mom and pop business and you have to pay $25 an hour or $20 an hour for a clerk at the front desk, and you have to pay top price for goods to be able to sell, and a lot of people are going to be stealing from, what are you going to do, right? Many of these people are going to have to go under. But if you look at the business model that these large corporations are getting ready to integrate, their profit margins are going to continue to climb. Meanwhile, the competition is going to get wiped out. So from the consumer side, the technology forces customers to do work that the store employees usually do. Aside from people who don't like making small talk with the clerk and folks who are in a rush, it's hard to see who benefits from the self-checkout. Stores like self-checkout because it eliminates workers at a time when retail wages have been rising. Not paying people to scan your purchases appeals to companies trying to cut costs. The problem from the corporate side is that self-checkout comes with increased theft, right? People they don't scan items. They might miss a couple things, might miss the steak, might miss some of these, expensive cheeses and random things. And so what ultimately happens? The store ends up, taking a haircut and everyone using it. So what is their solution? They're going to be using AI to prevent theft. Very similar to if you look at an Amazon One store where you scan your hand to go into the store and then everything inside of your cart is weighed and they know exactly how much it weighs, they know exactly how much weight's in that cart, and if you pay and that weight is off by how much you're willing to pay, there's going to be a problem, right? You're not going to be able to leave the store. This is what they're trying to do now. Walmart, Target, Kroger, and I think it's going to be going to every store. Best Buys and all these stores are going to be doing the same thing. And so how's this going to work? So some people prefer to have a human scan their items will go to self-checkout even if it makes them uncomfortable. Now Kroger plans to employ artificial intelligence as a monitor. Cameras will watch the self-checkout lanes and AI will examine how customers scan their goods. So how you're scanning your goods. A company called Everseen Visual AI will virtually examine the video, flagging any discrepancies. The AI flags will not only incidents of customers stealing, but also abnormal patterns and will alert store personnel. So if a customer does not officially scan their bag of items, even if they are not stealing, they could face the indignity of a store employee coming to examine their bags. The technology alerts customers when an item has not been scanned. When a second item is missed, store personnel will be alerted. Kroger's chief has claimed that such technology has reduced over 75% of errors at self-checkout. Kroger may offer Walmart's blueprint. So self-checkout benefit stores, not customers. This new technology works with an assumption of guilt that appears to be the new reality of the grocery space, and Walmart and Target seem like they're going to follow by adopting this sort of technology. Kroger wants to eliminate both theft and honest error, but this technology does so in a way that benefits the company while subjecting honest customers. I mean, this is a very unfortunate situation that we're walking into, where we walk into a scenario where there's no longer this, mom and pop type of relationship. I love going to those small businesses. I had a relative recently come into town. He went to a hotel that is very close to my house, and before all the staff, it was like a mom and pop type of hotel. And now all the staff was completely replaced with different staff. And came in one night, he left. He didn't want to go back to that hotel. He moved to a different location, right? So when you take away that mom and pop type of experience from these stores, You take away the entire experience of shopping. You take away that connection. Well, now you're going to basically have people, they're going to be on their phones all day long, and when they go to the store, everything is going to be through technology. Everything is going to be through monitoring and surveillance. It's a problem. Like, this is society is not stepping into the right direction. Kroger wants to eliminate both, but I mean, from a business
This looks like Hunger Games to me, straight up.
standpoint, if you own the business, think about this as like a money printing machine. Because if you own, let's say, a large grocery store or a large, large pharmacy location, and there's only 2 employees, you think about how profitable that business is compared to another location that has 20 employees, paying them $20 an hour, $800 an hour in just expenses. You start to look at how much expense these companies are saving because of this. This is what I think is going to happen. My bet is that next year, when we see that $2 trillion of corporate debt get restructured, you're going to see some of these really, really, really big chains start buying out all of these other locations. There's going to be a huge consolidation of the shopping experience, and that consolidation is going to be supported with tech and surveillance, and there's just going to be monopolies everywhere. It's going to be like Amazon on steroids with every shopping experience. What do you think about this entire thing? Do you think that this is a good situation? I mean, that's not going to stop Kroger. They bought the technology to use 1,700 stores, plans to deploy it across the entire chain of 2,800 stores in 35 states. The problem is that self-checkout, the technology works in a way that's good for the company. Customers' comfort and concerns are damned. We're already reporting fewer errors at self-checkout. Not only does this translate into reduced retail shrink, it also gives us much more accurate view of what stock is going out of the store. So this is what I think is going to happen. This is what I think is going to happen 2024, 2025. Major consolidation of the entire shopping experience. Drop below, hit the like button. If you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself.
We are screwed. Let me see if there's anything else up in here. There was another thing I wanted to, but I mean, we could go back to this.
Hey, what's up, guys? John here. They're getting ready to rug pull the entire labor market in America.
More American workers are hitting the picket
strategy session. Get some advice on your specific situation. At least book a call below the world. And right now, they're in the process of disrupting literally every single major industry, whether it be the real estate industry, whether it be healthcare, whether it be automotive. All the big industries right now are getting completely disrupted. Here's what I mean. So, National Association of Realtors, they're in this huge lawsuit right now where you have all the large brokerages, Coldwell Banker, Keller Williams, you have all the big dogs are getting sued right now by the National Association of Realtors. They're settling some of these companies $55 million here, $85 million here. Redfin just walked away from the National Association of Realtors. What does this mean? That means that the Redfin agents are no longer going to be able to use the realtor trademark. So what's going to happen? The National Association of Realtors, they are getting sued because they say that the buyer's agent commission should not be paid by the seller, and that they basically have a fix on the real estate transaction. Now, many people would agree with that. They would say, yes, I agree. If you're selling a house, you don't want to pay 2.5% to a buyer's agent to negotiate against your best interest. Sure. But when you look at what the National Association of Realtors is doing right now, they're investing in another company called Fractional, which is essentially Jeff Bezos-inspired type of company where
it's over.
Tons of investors pull in and buy individual houses and
we
rent
are
them
screwed
out to the general public. Well, they're investing heavily in this company. And so what I believe is ultimately happening right now is that the National Association of Realtors, all these brokerages are going to get completely disrupted.
This has all been a massive amount of fraud. This whole system, every damn thing about it. I tell you, man, you talk about being played. We've been set up in an illusion. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd rather have been born here than in Gaza. Jeez. Open air prison that people spitting at you and harassing you. Somewhat like how America was 100 or 70 years ago. going on right there, right now. We're seeing it play out. But with state-of-the-art weaponry. Yeah. State-of-the-art weaponry. So anyway, I think that's it for now. I hope you got the logistics of it. Pretty much at the bottom line,
It's over. We are screwed.
And that is it for me today. I'll maybe come back with another one later on. Until then, shalom.